So welcome to this third Knowledge at Católica conference. First of all, let me thank the presence of the ambassador of Israel, Mr. Rafael Gamzu, our rector, Mrs. Isabel Capello-Agil, and our guest of honor, Mr. Patrick Drahi, his team of guests, and all of you that are part of our community. Knowledge at Católica-Lisbon is basically a vehicle of dissemination of the great things we do in terms of research at Católica and how we connect with the outside world, with real impact in society. The theme that we chose for this year is 2018 Challenges for Portugal, led off a series of different initiatives that are bringing together students, alumni, the academic community, and the business world, and the civil society, all with the same purpose, to debate the main challenges for Portugal. We started in January with a survey of more than 25,000 people to understand what the population considers to be the main challenges for Portugal this year. And innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship were among the top 10 voted ones. As you know, Católica-Lisbon research unit is the top research group in Portugal. We are recognized by all external agencies, be it Financial Times or the National Agency for Science, as the top research institution in Portugal. And the last evaluation, we had 24.5 out of 25. So out of 25 points, we only missed 0.5. And that still gave us the leading position in any kind of school in Portugal. So it's not just in economics or in business, any kind of social science. One of the most important points of the school mission is to prepare tomorrow's leaders for professions of the future. And as we know, in the future, a mixture of soft skills, the hard skills, is going to be even more important than it ever was. And this also implicates the organizational model of companies needs to change. This is why these sort of initiatives are so important. Not only do we always have privileged the areas of innovation, technology, entrepreneurship in our research, but we also have a chair in social entrepreneurship at Católica-Lisbon. Our students increasingly demand a wider offer, and we see this in the increasing numbers of applications and admitted students in our international MSc in management with specialization in entrepreneurship, with a master in management with a specialization in strategy and entrepreneurship. We also have a postgraduate executive master in digital innovation and executive education programs like PAEGI. Lisbon is the home of Católica-Lisbon, as the name says. And it's becoming more and more recognized as a startup hub. And we are right in the middle of it, and we try to take advantage of it. We know, for instance, the Web Summit is based in Lisbon for a number of years, but the Web Summit actually chooses Católica-Lisbon as its main partner. So we partner with the Web Summit, we train its top managers, and then we also partner with them during the conference. This means we want to innovate, we want to create an impact, and we want to be part of solutions that take us further. A special thank you to the Patrick and Lina Drahi Foundation for their support in launching our center. This enables us to have an even bigger and wider impact on Portuguese society. I will now call on stage Professor Celina Abcacis Moedas, who is the Academic Director of the Center for Technology, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, that she will present. Thank you.
Dear Ambassador Rafael Gamzu, cara reitora Isabel Capello-Agil, dear Dean Nuno Fernandes, cher Patrick Drahi et membre de la Fondation Patrick et Lina Drahi, dear students, dear friends. It is a great pleasure and honor to be here today, and I feel proud to see the official launch of the Center for Technological Innovation and Entrepreneurship with its sponsor. Before I tell you more about the center, I need to tell you a little bit more about who I am and why I founded the center. My name is Celina Abcacis Moedas. As you can hear from my accent, I am French. I'm a professor at Católica-Lisbon School of Business and Economics, and I'm specialized in strategy and innovation management. The three values that have driven my career are knowledge, knowledge transmission, and bridging worlds. Let me tell you a little bit more about that. I started my career doing a PhD at École Polytechnique in Paris, in France, a top engineering school that happens to be the alma mater of Patrick Drahi. Doing a PhD was the first step to become an academic focused on knowledge and on transmission. Then I decided to work outside of academia in New York and London to better bridge the two worlds, academia and practitioner world. But quickly, when becoming a mother, I realized that knowledge and knowledge transmission were essential to me, and I went back to academia, bridging worlds, bridging countries. You know, I'm a French in Portugal, and I've lived in other countries, bridging the academic and the business worlds, and bringing students with the practitioners world. Then, Católica welcomed me, and it became my academic home. As I told you, I'm French, and I lived in Portugal for over 10 years. This is the place where I raised my children, so I'm glad and happy to have witnessed the big changes that took place in Portugal in general and in Lisbon in particular. In a way, I am also an illustration of those changes. Let me share with you how. When I joined Católica 12 years ago, I was the first international faculty. International students were coming from Erasmus exchanges only, and entrepreneurship was a peripheral topic. 12 years later, the place is totally different. I am surrounded by colleagues from different nationality. I cannot even cite them all: Italians, Brazilians, Americans, Canadian, Ukrainian, German, and more. I have more international students than Portuguese students in my classes. And entrepreneurship is a very hot topic, both at school and in Lisbon. The launch of the Center for Technological Innovation and Entrepreneurship is also part of that deep change. It is taking place in Lisbon. It is supported by an international sponsor, the Patrick and Lina Drahi Foundation. It is on the topic of technological innovation and entrepreneurship, and the students who will benefit from it are essentially international. So now let me tell you a little bit more about the center. So first, I want to formally thank the support of the Patrick and Lina Drahi Foundation for its 5-year support. The launch of the center and the center itself would not have been possible without you. Thank you. The activities of the center follow 3 dimensions: research, education, and again, bridging worlds. So research is about creating knowledge. This is what we do in universities, right? Through this center, we encourage and we finance research in the areas of technological innovation and entrepreneurship. At this stage, we have already awarded 2 research scholarships. And this research is, of course, impacting the society at large and the Portuguese society in particular, and of course is feeding the teaching that we share with you, the students at Católica. The second dimension is education, of course, you know, a university. We're transmitting knowledge. We want to transmit more knowledge in the area of technological innovation and entrepreneurship. For that, as you will see in a few minutes, we are awarding prizes. Today, we will be awarding 2 prizes for students, one for the best master thesis in the area, and one for the best entrepreneurship project resulting from the courses at Católica. The students who are going to win the prizes, they're sitting here on the first row, are going to receive a monetary prize. The center supports the training of all of you in the area of design thinking, an area that is very close to my heart and that I believe is going to lead our students to, you know, be better innovators in the future. The center has a great ambition of launching a prize for women entrepreneurs / innovators. I am sorry to say that what I have observed so far is that there's too few women in that area, and I hope we can make it different. We can change it. Overall, the aim of the center is to help you students who are sitting here to be better prepared for your careers. And finally, the dimension, which is bridging world. The center is the academic world, the students, you in this room, with the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem in Lisbon, in Portugal, and internationally. So the center will connect you, already connects you with the innovation ecosystem in firms through project and more institutional partnerships. The center has a partnership with Startup Lisboa, the Lisbon's incubator, to facilitate the link between the students and the incubation program. And particularly, we have as an ambition to make it easier for students who finish some internship courses to then join the incubator program. And we're also a proud sponsor of Bet24 1.0 prize, which you will hear about in a few minutes. Finally, the center connects the students with the international partners that are the X-Innovation Center at École Polytechnique in Paris and with the accelerator in Tel Aviv in Israel. Thank you very much. And now I'm calling on stage Mrs. Graziella Drahi, who's going to tell us more about the foundation. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I want to say a special hello to His Excellency Rafael Gamzu, the Rector Isabelle Gil, Nuno Fernandez, Céline Abecassis, all the other officials, Madame Maria Belém Rosera, welcome. Thank you for having me here. Dear deans, dear professor, dear students, dear colleagues, dear friends, dear family, Papa. I am very honored to be here today with you. It's actually quite funny to be on this side of the classroom. I usually seated at the back of it, but that's a change. I am very honored to be here today, and I'm going to speak on the behalf of my family, so I hope I'm going to represent them well. As you might know, Portugal stands as a special place in my family's story. In fact, not very long ago, we discovered ourselves some Portuguese roots. This history started a few hundred years ago, back in the early Middle Age, and it's not ready to end. Indeed, we are here today to carry our responsibility and share our family vision, prepare a better world for our children, a world of knowledge and a world of tolerance. Portugal stood out as a pioneer in the age of discovery between the 15th and 17th century, thanks to the spirit of work, curiosity, and adventurism of the Portuguese people. Those are key values of the Católica University and are the reason why we decided to support this wonderful Católica-LISBON Center for Technological Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Through this center, Católica will bring together a campus of excellence where teachers will transmit the tools and knowledge to form a new generation of modern entrepreneurs. To form this new generation of entrepreneurs, we need to reimagine the teaching, bring the scholar institution closer to the business ecosystem, and tease the desire to create. That's going to be our challenge. We are very confident that the center, under the leadership of Céline Abecassis and her team, will create the leading hub of innovation and entrepreneurship in Portugal, and will attract the most outstanding students for abroad. Actually, I might come, if I can. Soon, Católica will become the meeting point between teachers, researchers, students, companies, and startups. We are grateful to be part of this special story, as this center is fully aligned with my family spirit. Indeed, the Patrick and Lina Drahi Foundation was created to support programs around the following areas: research and health, science and technology, social projects, and arts. Moreover, this project is perfectly complementary to some other projects supported by the Family Foundation, such as, for example, the MOOCs and some other entrepreneurship centers, which are presented in different countries: in France with the École Polytechnique and the Telecom School, in Israel with the University of Jerusalem, in Switzerland with the EPFL, and tomorrow in the United States and all the other countries with which we share ties with. Giving backs are more than words to my family. It is a will and a duty to help shaping tomorrow all together. We are already looking to help transmitting and growing our value to the next generation. I wish you all the best of luck for your future projects, and please have fun along the way. Thank you.
So now we're going to have students on stage. Today, this center is awarding 2 prizes. 1 prize for a master thesis and 1 prize for entrepreneurship project. Let me start with the first one, the prize for the master thesis. Let me tell you a little bit more about the process that we followed, which of course is very scientific. So, not joking. In 2017, at CATÓLICA-LISBON School of Business and Economics, 220 theses were defended, huge number, of which 20 have a grade superior to 17 out of 20 and are in the field of innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology management. Of those 20 theses, the 3 professors of the center, Raffaele Conti, Geraldo Cerqueiro, and myself, we reviewed those works independently and we selected the top 2. And those top 2 are going to be presented today. Only 1 will win the prize. As a matter of fact, the 2 works that are going to be presented are on topics that are very close to my heart. One is about creative/art entrepreneurship, and the other one is about women entrepreneurs. So let me tell you a little bit more about the 2 students and the 2 theses, and then we will call them on stage. Beatriz Cole is the student who will present the first work. So Beatriz is Portuguese. She has an undergrad degree in design, which is quite atypical even for our students, and an MSc in management from Católica. She's now starting her career at L'Oréal in the area of marketing. And I have to say that it's been a great pleasure to see Beatriz here on stage and to have followed her path. First, she was my student in my luxury and design-based strategies course. Then I was in the jury of her master thesis, and now, I'm very proud that she's going to be here on stage presenting her work. Her work is on art and business, how to become a successful visual arts entrepreneur, and she had the chance to interview very prominent artists, such as Joana Vasconcelos. The second work is a work of Jeanne-Marie Wittelsberger. So Jeanne-Marie is a German student. She did her undergrad program in business in Germany. Then she joined the MSc at Católica, and she did an exchange in Colombia, and I think she's going to tell you a little bit more about that. She now works in consulting at Roland Berger in Germany, and again, in the case of Jeanne-Marie, I'm very honored to have followed her growth from being my student in the consulting course 2 years ago to the stage here. Her master thesis work focuses on gender differences in entrepreneurship, a really important topic. So I'm going to call first Beatriz and then Jeanne-Marie to come on stage. Thank you.
So, hi everyone. So, art and business. You might be wondering why I put these 2 words on the board. And the thing is that many of us, and well, everywhere in the world, believe that art and business are 2 opposite worlds. However, I do believe that it is not. And many of us do believe that an artist, or have thought at any point in time, that an artist is no good in business, or that living solely from art is very hard and difficult and not sustainable in the long time. So this is what I decided to focus on my thesis. I decided to focus on how to become a successful visual arts entrepreneur. And so why visual and why success? This is what I need to define on my question. Why visual artists? Because the artist itself is very difficult to define. It's a very broad definition. So the visual artists are all artists that do things that are created and appreciated by sight. So they are illustrators, they are painters, they are photographers. They are not musicians, they are not writers, they are not performing artists. So it's about visual. And then what is success? So success is different for all of us. And so I needed to define it for visual artists. And success for visual artists is not based on profit. It's based on really creating content creation. It's about being able to freely create, to be recognized by peers, by colleagues, by artists, by the public in general, and then to be sustainable by doing the art. It's not about profit. Profit is a bonus, normally, and you will see then afterwards. And like, it really is about creating. So how did I gather information? So I interviewed 9 visual artists, including Joana Vasconcelos, and they all did different type of visual art. And so with them, I was able to gather 2 main type findings that you'll see afterwards. And so although I did build a very complex model, the 2 top findings I did was creativity and passion. So creativity, what is creativity and why is it so important? Because it is the core of the activity, it's the most important part. So it's where they should focus. It's about the idea, the skill, developing the artistic identity, because it is a brand. The product is what the artist does, and it is really, really important in art. And then you have passion. And passion, you might think that it is very broad to all entrepreneurs, and that passion is like something you need when you do entrepreneurship in any industry. But the thing is that all artists, they all talked about how passionate they were about what they were doing, how they would not see themselves doing anything else. And then you need also to understand that the creative industry is one of the most challenging, because it's very uncertain. It has a lot of underemployment, for example, if you are an employee, and it is very uncertain because your product is very intangible. So passion is very, very important to keep yourself in the game. So as Joana Vasconcelos said, she said that the beginning of my career was challenging. However, today I have the privilege to live solely from my work as an artist. So they all talked about beginning, and this is very common to all types of entrepreneurship. So you need to really focus on the beginning, invest on the beginning, and not quit at the first setback. And so they all talked about this. And if you gather creativity, passion, managerial skills that I also found on my model, and networking skills, you have all the tools to become a very successful artist. But the thing is, creativity and passion are the most important. And me, myself, I hope one day I can become a visual arts entrepreneur. Currently, I'm working in marketing, but I do see myself one day working and having my own design company. And I know that here I found really strong models to follow. Thank you very much.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me tonight. I would like to start by sharing how I came up with the topic, because prior to writing my thesis, I spent my exchange semester in Colombia. And as amazing as it was also the first time that I experienced living in a country where women are still perceived slightly different than men. And it inspired me to write my thesis about women and entrepreneurship, because it's the driving force in changing women's lives all over the world. In general, like we've all learned, new business creation is the single most important factor for economic growth of a country. And nowadays, women are the fastest growing population of new entrepreneurs. Female entrepreneurship is especially important because it gives women a chance to be more independent. But possibly the biggest benefit is that women are far more likely to spend their income on their children, around 80% of it, than men, meaning that it benefits the future generations as well. And because female entrepreneurship is so important, or rather because it should be so important, I was very surprised to find out that only 119 articles have ever been published about this topic. And one of the most often cited concepts of female entrepreneurship is entrepreneurial self-efficacy, meaning the self-confidence that one has the necessary skills to start their own venture. And it's usually used to measure entrepreneurial intentions. So it sounds very fancy, but it basically just means that an individual who thinks that he or she has the necessary capabilities to start their own business are obviously far more likely to start their own business, and that men more often exhibit this feature than women, meaning that they more often start their own ventures than women. However, no one has ever taken this concept one step further. What happens to those individuals who believe that they do not have the necessary capabilities, but they still go ahead and start their own venture? How is that going to affect every dimension of their business, especially the business size, the business growth, the innovation and export propensity of the business? So in a nutshell, my thesis is about showing that people who believe in their business capabilities will have superior startups, and that men more often exhibit this feature than women, meaning that their ventures will perform better. So I use data provided by the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, and it's an organization that annually surveys more than 240,000 entrepreneurs in over 70 countries. And the most important findings of my thesis is that men do in fact own larger startups with more growth, more innovation and export propensity, and that entrepreneurial self-efficacy, so the business self-confidence, is the single best predictor for predicting the venture performance, and that women are far more influenced by it than men. To give you a quick example, it means that on average, men will have in 5 years five employees more than women. And speaking in small business creation on a global scale, that's quite a lot. I was able to derive other findings in my thesis, such as that women are far more successful when they found in teams, or that it's better for them to have a mentor in innovation propensity. But you would have to read my thesis to find out more about that. So I would like to finish by showing the practical importance of my thesis. While writing it, I went around campus and I asked my fellow students, do you feel like you have the necessary capabilities to start your own business? And about 82% of the men and 69% of the women said they did. And this is a business university where everybody should leave feeling like he or she has the necessary abilities to start their own business. And so while my thesis might seem like a theoretic and abstract concept, it's actually a real-life problem that's affecting all of us. And it's within our responsibilities as students and professors alike to do our share of translating women's entrepreneurial potential into entrepreneurial practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, Jeanne-Marie. We have to wait a little bit longer before we know who is the winner. Let me now introduce the second prize. The second prize is for the best entrepreneurship project. In the two courses of this semester called Lean Entrepreneurship Project and New Value Creation, 20 projects emerged after a few weeks of classes. The instructors selected 6 of those 20, and the same jury with the same 3 professors, as well as Patrick Drahi, as an experienced entrepreneur, selected 3 of those projects. These are the 3 projects that are going to be presented to you today. The projects are Dish to Wish, Find a Farm, and Fresh Fill. Let me tell you a little bit more about those projects. So Dish to Wish, do you want to? So it's a team of 6 students, of which 3 are present today. Clarissa Pasic is from Venezuela, and she has a bachelor degree from Germany. She's a major in marketing, and she now works in beauty care at Henkel. Roy Breivik is Norwegian. He did an exchange year in Barcelona in Spain, and his major is in strategy and entrepreneurship. And he has some experience in credit. Sebastian Prazel is German. He did an Erasmus in Spain, and his major is in entrepreneurship and innovation with a double degree at the University of Maryland. He's now working in strategy at Daimler. They have a very exciting project on helping people with dietary requirements to find the right dish. And the video is going to tell you more about that. Shall I?
Hey guys, we are Dish to Wish, and the problem that we try to solve is helping people find the right dish based on their preferences and dietary needs when eating on a restaurant.
Our time is worth more than 1 billion euros. It is composed by people living in North America and Europe, having specific dietary needs or working more than 50 hours per week. These 2 groups of people represent our primary and secondary target, respectively. generating a market of 185,000 people only in Lisbon.
Our app will help busy people or those with special dietary needs who want to have the best dish based on their preferences. It will help them to reduce time and effort choosing their dish by providing reliable alternatives through a push notification as soon as they enter the restaurant. Take a look.
The app will ask you some questions about your preference. What do you feel like eating? Fish? Chicken? Vegetarian? Once you have chosen, the app will ask you more details about it. Which kind of fish do you like? How do you like it to be cooked? All this in order to save your preferences, with no worries. You can change them every time you wish. And it's done! So every time you enter in a restaurant, you will see a message like this appearing in your lock screen, suggesting you the 3 best choices according to your preferences that Dish to Wish recommends to you.
We've used those videos to gather feedback, and within the first 24 hours we got 700 views on Facebook and 100 likes. On Instagram, more than 500 people viewed our video. Moreover, we used those channels to redirect people to our landing page, and we got an amazing conversion rate of 25%.
Our business model is based in a freemium program, meaning that the user will have access for free for 1 month to the premium version of the app, allowing them to have the wow effect. After this month, they will need to pay 1.99 euros.
I'm Maria.
Roy.
Clarissa.
Federica.
Carlos.
Sebastian, and we're Dish to Wish.
Thank you. The second project is called Find a Farm. It is made by a team of 2 students, of which only one is present today. Tobias Kumler is German. Do you understand? Yeah. He did an exchange program in Navarra, in the University of Navarra in Spain. He has a major in strategy and consulting, and he's working at Procter & Gamble in Frankfurt in Germany. The project is a very exciting project on how to find local solutions to eat better and to increase sustainability. Let's see.
Junk food, who doesn't know it? It's cheap, it's accessible, I'm so sick of it. I really miss back in Germany, in my village, there was this local farmer where I bought this cheap, healthy, amazing fresh food like salads and carrots. Why is something like this not existing in Lisbon? We are the Find a Farm team and we would like to change that. We want to create a communication platform via an app where we connect people like me who are seeking for nice and fresh food to local farmers in the area of Lisbon, or even people who have some salad in the backyard and want to make some money out of it. And the best thing is, we can deliver it for only €2.95 via Uber Eats. But let's talk about the numbers and the technology behind it. Let's fly to Poland to my colleague Carolina.
Welcome to Poland. So who are we? We're an international group of students with diverse experiences and backgrounds, but with a shared passion for healthy, accessible food. Our technology right now includes a website on which our end user is able to view the products, see the farmers, and order the products via our platform. However, we also encourage a creation of community with our lifestyle blog. The next development is going to be the application, which will offer the same kind of features, but with a mobile version. We understand that marketing is going to be very important for our target. We want to target a healthy, conscious, young consumer. We know that things like social media marketing as well as the blog will be very effective. However, word of mouth has proven to be the most effective form of communication for this demographic. We will also use things like Google AdWords, and for our farmers, we will have more of a traditional approach with an email marketing method and cold calls to encourage them to join our community as well as our blog. In terms of competitors, we realize that supermarkets and open-air markets will be the most traditional competitors to us. Places like Lidl, Mini Presso, Pingo Doce, Continente are very accessible. However, what we offer is a healthier and an even more convenient option. In terms of financing, we're predicting that 10,000 euros is going to get us off the ground and started on our application development as well as our marketing efforts. It will cover our fixed costs as well as our variable costs, which we estimate to be about 50 cents per delivery. In terms of sales, we want our customers to order 15 to 20 euros worth of produce from our application a year.
So what's the plan for the future? From now, we're looking for funding and want to engineer the app. The next month, we want to build up our community and use our blog. And then when the people of Lisbon are wild and can't wait for our product, in 2 months, we want to launch the app. And from then on, we want to do it like the vegetables. We just want to grow.
The third project is called Fresh Film. It is the result of the work of 6 students, of which 2 are present today. Sarah Lawrence is German-Italian, and she has a bachelor from France. I did an exchange in Australia. She is a major in innovation and entrepreneurship and a double degree with Bocconi. She has experience in financial institutions. Ricardo Pereira is Portuguese. He's a major in strategy and entrepreneurship, and he has some experience in consulting. The project, as you will see, is very close to the heart of students who need water at university and also has sustainability in mind. Let's see. So I'm asking for a bit of patience before we can tell you more about who are the winners. I would like to introduce you to one of the most successful student initiatives in Portugal that was created by Católica students in 2012 regarding entrepreneurship. It is called Bet24, Bring Entrepreneurs Together. Since then, since 2012, it has grown in size and in reach, involving students from other universities. I have to tell you that I went to one of the events on Saturday, and it rocks. Let me introduce now our student, Tiago Freire de Andrade, undergraduate at Católica, president of the Bet24, who will tell you more about it. And also, he will tell you more about the Startup 1.0 prize that was awarded by the center. After that, Mr. Patrick Drahi and myself, we will award the 2 prizes. Thank you.
can we put the video? Just to show first. Can we put the video? So hi, I'm Tiago. I'm Tiago Freire de Andrade. First of all, I wanted to thank you for inviting me to be here. So BET is bringing entrepreneurs together, and we basically have 4 steps of bringing entrepreneurs together. First, it's mindset. So first we have to give the entrepreneurial mindset to all the students in universities. Then matching, so matching different areas, different backgrounds, and that's what we constantly do. Just because we believe that engineers, managers, designers, and scientists together can create many more startups and much better startups. And the fourth step, it's the third step. Sorry, it's mentoring. So we also mentor startups, and we actually have some mentors here from our team. And we mentor startups from the beginning, from the idea phase until the investor phase. We have several partners that help us on doing that, but we are composed mostly by students, and mostly by students from Católica, as we can see here. So BET24 that was presented here is basically our biggest event that promotes everything that we do. This BET24, as explained there, has 4 challenges. One of them, 1.0, is actually being sponsored by the center, and thank you for that. It's already very good to see that the center and Católica are truly investing in startups and in entrepreneurship. But I have to say that we were created 7 years ago here in Católica. Actually, the president, the ex-president, and the founder are here also, and they were also from students from Católica. So we have been working with Católica for 7 years now to innovate within students and to create startups and to help students to create startups. So for the future, and now that we have a center that is really investing on this time and not only, we promise that we will work with them closely, as we are already doing it, and we will promote the Católica and I want to make a challenge here to be the most innovative university in Europe or in the world. Why not? Yeah. Wow. So thank you all, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Tiago. I now call Patrick Drahi on stage for the very awaited result of the prizes.
Go ahead.
So the first prize is for the best master thesis in the area of technological innovation and entrepreneurship. And it's been very hard to choose between the 2 works. And the winner is?
I need to check. So, no suspense. The winner is Jean-Marie Wittelsberger. Please. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Maybe we can have a photo?
Yeah, maybe I just say something. Of course. Because your project is marvelous, and your decision was, I'm sure, very difficult. But I didn't read the thesis. I had no time for that. But I want also to say congratulations to you. It's a very nice project you presented. This was, I'm sure, difficult to select, and you talked about arts and success, and I'm a big fan of arts, and as I knew it was I couldn't be a very strong artist, I focused on business, but finally I had some success. Now your thesis is a very important topics, how perception influence actions, and I think it's very interesting that you discovered that only you have like 15% difference between women and men about their trust in being successful in business, and I think this is changing. I want to tell you that Amalia, who is working for me on the philanthropic part, used to be the human resource director of one of the largest company in Israel, and I told Alexander, the CEO of Portugal Telecom, because you said women can run business with less people than men. So I said, his future is yours. And just to come back to Israel, because this morning I was with the management board of Portugal Telecom, where we have not many women, my dear, I think almost none. But I was in Israel yesterday, and we talk a lot about Israel with all what's going on in the region, and as we talk, there is big events happening as we talk. But in Israel, the management board of our company is composed of 8%, 4 women, 4 men, and the CEO is a woman. And out of the 5 largest banks in Israel, 3 are led by women. And I want to say that the most advanced countries in the world, because I believe Israel is one of them, are led by women. So I do believe your thesis is right. And also I want to say something is perception influence actions. I want to tell you how personally I have been taking decisions all my life. As you, I was a student in an école, engineering school, because my parents were mathematics teachers. So I was not allowed to do business. I had to become a mathematics teacher. So I became an engineer. And first, to take a decision, I used to think with my mind. Then to decide a little bit, or to feel with my heart, because that's very important to take fair decision. And then when you try to find out when your mind thinks something and your heart thinks something else, you don't know what to decide. And this is where you're right, because you say perception influence action, then I decide with my stomach. So, and I think it's very important, and I think for that reason, women can be more successful than men. So not only you did a great job, because you have been selected by a very impartial jury, but I think the title of your thesis is excellent. Your presentation was great. Are you German?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I could have recognized in the accent. So congratulations, and I wish you the best. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, we'll be happy to help.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations again. Oh, okay. So you give it?
No. I'm just going to announce, and you're going to get the prize.
The prize, okay, for the second project. Okay.
So let me remind you, the second prize is the prize for the top entrepreneurship project, for which the jury was composed by the 3 professors and Patrick Drahi himself. So the winner is?
So the winner is Find a Farm. So please, all come on board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're Spanish?
No, German.
German, but I thought you had a Spanish something. Wunderbar. Excellent.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So, you want me to say something?
Yeah.
So actually, I was part and not part of the jury. What I did, because Celine sent me the 3 projects, which I forwarded to my kids. And But I'm going to read the email of one of my sons, who is not here today. So I have 4 kids. 2 went to an engineering school, École Polytechnique in Lausanne, following myself and my parents. And 2, to make sure, went to a business school. Okay? And this is the email, because she went to the business school, and her brother went to the business school, and we are in a business school, so I'm not going to read the blah blah of an engineer. And this guy went to a business school in Switzerland, and now he's an investment banker at JP Morgan in London. So I sent it to the 3 project, and he had the same reason, or he had the same choice, which was find a farm. Although he said the 2 other projects are very, very good. And he said the reasons are the following. And you gave me the notes about which reasons, and he had the same as yours. So it means you have a good test here, or he has a good test, or both. And so the first thing is, first of all, you are bringing something good to the society in a trend, and that is very important. And you respond to a real demand. I think for food, people are ready to pay more if they get better. And I give you a statistic that he didn't give me, but I found last week, actually with the mayor of Jerusalem. He told me, you know what, in Israel, this is a growing economy, 4% per year. The cost of food has declined over the last 4 years by 5% per annum. But people are spending 15% more because they like to buy better food. And we have more and more population, so your project is really in the right direction. Because people are ready to pay more for a growing business in a growing economy. So it is I think it's a very good idea. It's sustainable. It's easy to implement. And I think for all this, your business model is quite impressive. Presentation was, I haven't read all the document, but I saw the presentation. It was quite good. The 2 other projects also. But we needed a winner. And congratulations for what you did. And I think you can also have easy scalability to your projects. Not only, Lisbon or Portugal, you can launch it very wide. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now we would like to open the Q&A session. I don't know if there are questions from students specifically. Yes, Roy.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, so I have one question to you, Patrick. What has been your key success factors through your career?
Okay, this is what the First Lady... Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Roy, for the question. I think this 2 things. Number one, what was the first thesis presentation, which is patient. Patient and patience. So, and number 2, I couldn't report to anyone. So no one could really control me. And as I was difficult to stay in a big company, I had to create my own business. So it was a negative choice. And then I was lucky because in the 90s, I finished my studies in 1988. So you were probably not yet born or very young. No, not yet born, I think. At that time, the telecom business was a monopoly business. So there was a huge opportunity to launch competition. And so this is it, a good market, a passion for technology. I'm a technology guy. And then a passion for success, not for money. I don't care about the money. I care more about a good job. You know, as a student, when you are young, you like to succeed in your studies. You like, if possible, to be number one. I was always very upset when I was not number one, and to improve yourself all the time. And this is what we continue to do. And today you're lucky because I know at least 2 more entrepreneurs in the room and many young future entrepreneurs, all of you, because I have here, Alain is here. Alain Veil is a founder of BFM in France, the most successful information channel. And you have in the backyard Marc Lofer, who is also a French entrepreneur. It's funny because he lives in Portugal, but he spent all his career working either for Alain or for me, or now he's on his own because he couldn't support either of us. So you see, he has patience, and strong motivation.
Hello. My question is, in your entrepreneurial career, what were the most important values for you?
Okay, I think fidelity. I started alone. Then I had one partner, and I'm still a friend with him. It was like 30 years ago, and then I had more partners, and we are partner. We're happy when everything goes well, but business is not a quiet line going up. It's also ups and downs, and I'm very happy when I keep seeing the same people for 20, 30 years, and the team spirit is very important. And then the second value is freedom, i.e. do what you want to do and don't listen to anyone. If everybody tells you your project is bad, it probably is good, because everybody cannot be an entrepreneur. So, if everybody knew the truth, So this is it, I think. Friendship and freedom, and this, I think, actually what the people of every country is fighting for all around the world.
Yes. I can also raise a question about no, I think it's better. You're gonna get the mic.
Yes, so the question I have for you is basically a decision that some of our students might have in the next few years when they graduate. So to be like one of tomorrow's leaders, should we rather go with a path to a big corporation first, or should we directly start our own business? I'm not sure which is your recommendation on this one, but that's something.
Well, there is no magic answer. In the US, the big and well-known current entrepreneurs are 2 kinds. You have the Zuckerberg, Bill Gates of this world. They didn't even finish their studies and started to build their companies. And then you have Jeff Bezos of this world. They finished their studies, they started to work, and then they created their company. So it's really a question of maturity. Some people at 20 years old are more mature than some other at 40 years old. And some people at 60 years old are younger than some people at 14 years old. So it's, and you know that already about your colleagues. And if you are very honest with yourself, you already know that about yourself. So depends on what you want to do. Me, I wanted to be the CEO of a big group. That was my dream. I wanted to have thousands of employees, and I didn't think about money, or I wanted to be the CEO of a worldwide company. So I started in a very big group. And after 1 year, I couldn't understand why I was not the CEO of this large big group. So the guy told me, well, when you will be 50 years old, if you succeed in every step, you will be the CEO of this big group. So I left, and I built it. So it depends on your character, and nothing is planned. The life cannot be predicted, So nothing is planned. Live your life as free and fun you can have, and you will find your way. Hopefully.
Okay, maybe then let me reframe the question. To become a successful entrepreneur, do you think that experience is more valuable or the ambition?
I think the most important, as I said, to become a freelance entrepreneur is the trust in yourself. Don't listen to anyone. You know, I give you an example. When you are a 2 years old baby, if I explain to you how to swim and all the dangers of swimming, you will never swim. So generally you take babies when they are 3 months old, put them to the water, they go under the water, then they come up. So I know a lot of people, you know, they have a project and they go around the pools in circles and they never go and jump into the pool. So just push yourself to the pool. You will see it's not that difficult. Some people, they will think, because this means they went to the pool too late. Because if they had been to the pool 3 months old, they could swim very well.
Okay, thank you.
It's a very precise answer to your question.
I'll give it a try.
What would you like to see at the center, maybe after these 5 years of the sponsoring? Shall I repeat the question?
We couldn't hear you.
What would you like to see at the Center of Technological Innovation and Entrepreneurship after these 5 years of funding?
Okay, thank you for the question. First of all, I'm very pleased and honored to sponsor your initiative. I think if we can see, let's say, in 10 years from today, many students that would have followed this program becoming a successful entrepreneur, I would be very happy. Let's say only one being a very well-known entrepreneur, I will be extremely happy. I gave a lot of internship to international students in the world to come to France to study, and one of them recently, he was a Russian guy who came to France maybe 10 years ago. He wasn't even speaking French, and I saw him build his company, finance his company, develop his company, and 1 year ago, or even less, 6 months ago, he called me and I said, I sold the company. I said, how much? He said, well, I'm going to tell it to you, but don't repeat because nobody knows I've made so much money. So I will not repeat, but he was very successful.
Yes, hi. I was wondering, and it's very important to highlight as well, as it's funded by your foundation, this program, what actually got you into philanthropic work? Because there's a lot of people in the same position as you that don't do any philanthropic work. So what motivated you to get into that, and what impact have you had from it so far?
Okay. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think I felt a little bit guilty to do reasonably well and not to participate too much to the life of any given country, because I was born in Morocco as a French guy, and I moved to France, then I moved to Switzerland, then I moved to Israel, then I discovered, when I bought Portugal Telecom, we did some research on our family, so we discovered some Portuguese roots, which I'm very proud of. I, by the way, took citizenship from this country. And I found out that I was going around, you know, doing successful business, but not really contributing to helping people. Of course, we were investing in fiber, in content, improving the life of our customers, but this is business. So I said, well, let's try to do something which is non-business oriented. And then I started to think, what is the most important? I thought education, science, arts, you know, everything we talked about today. And I think it's very important to see the results of that in terms of maturity of the people, elevating not only the GDP per inhabitants, but the level of awareness, the level of culture per inhabitants. You see many problems on this world which are linked to the fact that people are under culturally trained, and then they cannot take the right decision, they cannot make the right judgment. So this is it. I'm spending more and more time. I'm happy that my daughter is helping. And for example, we recently opened maternity in the middle of, 5 kilometers from receiving bombs in the south of Israel. We were very happy about that. We are funding entrepreneurship in France also at École Polytechnique, and this is very successful because we opened the center where we plan to have a couple hundred startups. And the director of the school called me last year and said, well, it is so successful that we need to expand the center to accommodate more startups. Some of them are growing, leaving the center because they're becoming real companies. And this is how we see the results. And this is it, because life is not always only to make business all the day. You know, today I spent a fair amount of time with the Portuguese team to review the numbers, which is very interesting. But I shouldn't say that in front of my team, but I'm enjoying more my time tonight. But to continue to be active in philanthropy, I need them to do good numbers. So, you know, some to make sure they don't become crazy after today.
Thank you very much for those really interesting questions and very enlightening answers. I would like to now call the rector, Isabelle Capello-Agile, to give us the closing words.
So good evening, everyone. Dean Fernandes, Mr. Patrick Drahi, dear Celine, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, dear students. This is a joyous moment for the university as we celebrate the inauguration of a new center for technological innovation. It's a center that will certainly boost the capacity of the school to continue to do well in its efforts to create entrepreneurs and to produce value with values in the business landscape. And it's also an occasion to inspire our students who are trained at the school to take the leap into the pool, just as they go around the pool trying to understand why they should actually make that final jump. This is certainly an excellent example of a cooperation between academia and the business world, and I want to thank Mr. Drahi for his support for the center, for making this actually come true, and also for inspiring us with your experience and with supporting and inspiring the students to be creative and not to follow the rules all the time. I also want to say to Celine, to thank the school as well for the vision that is behind the center, but especially to acknowledge Celine's visions, efforts, and her work, especially her work, if I may say so, to empower women entrepreneurs and to be an inspiration for women, as you've seen. Our students, we hope to inspire a lot of strong women to go into business and to change the landscape. And finally, I want to acknowledge the work of our students today here, which was absolutely amazing, and to thank the faculty that have been supervising this work, that have inspired you. As you've seen, we have a very international cohort, so thank you. The work that we're doing here, this center, is not for the university, it is for you. So let us give them an applause. Thank you very much. So our goal as a university is to produce life-changing science, educated citizens, and forward-looking entrepreneurs. This is a goal that we'll certainly achieve with this center. Thank you very much for being with us today and for sharing this moment. Thank you.
So thank you all for being here. Thank you, the students, for making it so lively. And thank you for all the people who worked hard to make this happen. I want to thank Pierre Jean, the Executive Director of the Center, and the whole team of institutional marketing. Thank you very much. And there is a nice cocktail awaiting for us. Thank you.